guys, UCOG here and welcome to another track guide, this time at the infamous Laguna Seca. Now this is a very technical, very tight and very tough track to overtake on. And what makes it even more challenging is that this is the McLaren's worst track on the whole calendar. So you got to really push if you want to get a good result from this track in this car. So turn 1, brake just before the number 3 board on the right. Tuck it into the first apex of this left-hander and then middle of the track, back across with a second apex. And then power out, come back across the track, brake between the 2 and the 1 board, throw it into this corner. As soon as you hit the curb, power out onto this curb. Now, this right-hander, you just want to dab the brakes very slightly, just a very slight dab of the brakes, and then power it through. Into this fast left-hander at the bottom here, brake on the number 2 board. Keep it very tight here because this corner goes off camber, and if you dip a wheel over that curb, it can spin you into the wall and crash. Now, fast left-hander here, brake before the 2 and the 1. A little bit blind going in, miss that inside curb because if you hit that sausage, you are dead. Run it really wide, you got to be super committed. And now we're coming up to the scary corkscrew at the top of the hill. Brake just before you reach the top of the hill. Try and keep it tight for both these curbs. And now we've got a really fast left-hander. You just want to use the throttle, let off the throttle to turn the car. You don't need to brake there. Now brake from the number 2 board here. Throw it into the corner. As soon as you hit the apex, power through, use the camber of the corner. And now the final corner, the hairpin. Brake just before the number 2 board. Keep it as tight as you can. Power out for an insane lap of this track. God, I feel like I missed so much because it's just corner after corner after corner. But we'll try and go over as much as we can on this second lap here as well. So yeah, turn 1, try and make this a double apex, like I was saying on lap 1 there. So apex, middle of the track, and then apex again coming out. Definitely the best way to take that. I think you want to note with this track as well as there's lots of sausage curbs on the inside of the corners. You'll notice it on this whole first sector and middle sector. You see that big red sausage there? If you hit that wrong, or if you just hit that in any way really, you're probably going off onto the gravel, and the gravel around here really loses your time. It's very easy to just dip a wheel in the gravel as well, like on the exit of these corners, and it just loses you so much time and ruins your tires. This corner as well, hit that curb, and that's the reason lots of people crash and DNF in this race. Top tip for this track as well, the top of this hill here, try and keep your braking as straight as possible, because if you're turning on the brakes at the top of that hill, it can really affect just in general how good you can brake, and it causes a lot of lockups. And I've seen a lot of people go for moves at the top of there, start turning into the corner and just go straight and either hit the car that they're trying to overtake or just crash in general and just go off the track. So yeah, try and keep your wheel as straight as possible for the braking at the top of the hill into the corkscrew. Setup wise, you want to go for a high downforce setup, obviously, because you don't really get up to some crazy speeds around this track. It's all just mid to low speed. You want to watch out for tire pressures and tire temperatures as well, because this track, because of its location, most leagues and championships run this at a very high temperature. So you'll definitely be sweating after a league race around here, I'll tell you that right now. And just in general, in the race, you want to play this track as safe as you can, because, like I said, it's just so many dangers and so many areas you can just ruin your whole experience. This corner especially here, if you push super hard every lap, it just takes one tiny mistake. Braking in a straight line, and then trail it just as we get to the apex. Using the rotation of the car off throttle there to bring it round. Just before the number 2 board. Oh, that looks nice. That was a spicy lap. The 21 in this car and track combo was very nice. You're probably going to be over a second off what the Porsche, for example, can do around here, but you just got to do what the car's capable of, you know what I mean? So don't feel disappointed if you can't keep up with you know, the Porsche times or a few of the other cars. But yeah, I guess that is a lap guide, a track guide around this crazy track. Hopefully you've learned a few things, and just like I say, the biggest thing I can say to take away from this is just don't push at 101% all the time, because here's an example. This is what we're going to end the video on. Let's say I just turned in a little bit too early here. Dead. Don't die. Taking my tips. Hopefully you guys will do well. Take care. Have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.